You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Reuben.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another very interesting episode of the Immigrant Experience podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Dualai Koko. Tonight, I have a very special guest, all the way from Jamaica. And he goes by the name Rhoan Flowers. He is an author, a writer, and so many more. Like, you're going to get to know him. The Immigrant Experience podcast is all about giving back and empowering immigrants through telling their stories. And tonight we have a very interesting story which we would like to share with everyone. And I hope that you enjoy this episode. So I'm going to start by introducing our guest, Rhoan Flowers. Mr. Rhoan Flowers, welcome to the Immigrant Experience podcast.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure having you here tonight.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So, if you want to know, I met Rhoan Flowers when I was invited to this event organized by the Origin Arts and Community Center at the Saw Gallery. And I was intrigued. When I went there, I met Mr. Rhoan Flowers and his books, his collections of books he's reading, and it intrigued me. And when I spoke with him, I said, no, we have to have him on the podcast and hear about this story.
Oh, yes. And
it's really nice having you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
When you told me about you did a podcast and we spoke, even though it was briefly.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Okay, that's good. I love to hear that. So we're going to start very quickly by asking you, what was it like? What was it like? How long? I know you're from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wataguan. I think is that how they say it? Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I know you're from Jamaica. What year did you move to Canada?
Jamaica? 1986.
1986.
December 20th, 1986.
Oh, wow. That's a very long time ago.
Yes.
What was that like for you coming to Canada?
Oh, it was a total different experience.
Yeah.
You know, coming from the Caribbean,
it
was my first time traveling. And basically, I felt like I was living my whole entire life, everything.
Yeah.
Everybody I know.
Everyone you knew.
My grandmother, my grandparents who raised me.
Yeah.
Just felt like I was leaving everybody else, my friends, everybody else.
Yeah. And did you, at any point, did you come with family when you came, or you came alone?
I came alone, but I came to live with my mother.
Oh, so your mom was already here?
Yes, my mom was already originally in Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, so when you came, you were in Montreal.
Yes.
How old were you when you came?
I was 14.
You're 14 years old. That was very young.
Yes.
So when you came, and you've left everyone behind, you've left your family, your friends.
Yes.
When you came, what was it like? I know you're very young, but what was it like for you settling in a new country, making friends and connections?
It was hard in the beginning. Because,
in the beginning.
Different culture.
Yeah.
Everything. Personally, I had to go to French school.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And coming from Jamaica, going to French school. You were in Montreal.
Yes, coming from Jamaica, going to French school, not knowing the language.
Yeah.
And having to learn the language. So, I did a year and a half of French school.
Wow. There's this general perception that black people speak French. That's something I realized here.
On parle français.
Yeah, oui. Tout le monde parle français quand tu es noir.
Oui, c'est ça.
So, that's really interesting. So you went to the French school, made connections there.
Yes, the thing when I went to French school was I went to what they call classe d'accueil.
Class de coeur.
welcoming classes.
Oh, welcoming classes. Yeah.
So I was meeting other immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
So meeting other immigrants who are feeling the same way that
The
I
same
felt.
connection.
The same connection. And that I must admit that opened my eyes. That's what started opening my eyes
Opening
to
your eyes to.
the world.
Yeah.
Because going to coming from Jamaica, most of my friends were Jamaican.
Yeah.
So going to a French
French
school,
school.
I had French from Arab and Korean friends.
Yeah.
I had friends from one of my good friends was from Philippines.
Yeah.
So and one different people.
That was very diverse.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That's something. What was like the biggest cultural shock you experienced for yourself when you moved?
Apart from the race,
Yeah.
the thing with race,
Yeah.
just a change in language, really.
Change in language.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's always very big.
Yes, that was huge.
Particularly like I myself, I struggled when I came. I speak English and French.
Yes.
But I really struggled when I came here.
Yes.
Like the comprehension, the speed.
Exactly.
Of how they speak and all that.
And for me, just trying to learn the language.
Yeah.
And then because for me, I've always been a high-end student.
Yeah.
So that year and a half for me was something that was holding me
It pulled
back.
you back. Oh, yeah.
Because after the year and a half, when they thought I was at a level where I could manage in regular classes,
Yeah.
when they put me in regular classes, they were teaching me stuff that I learned in
It was
Jamaica
backwards.
years
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. So literally, they would literally.
Yes. So all that threw
Set
me
you
off.
back.
All that set me off.
Yeah.
Set me back, and I ended up dropping out of school when I was 15.
Oh wow.
Yes, 15 and a half. I went to a year and a half. And when I started the regular classes, I said, no, I can't be doing stuff that I was doing.
Yeah. Because then there's an imbalance.
Yes.
And
yes.
I've had kids who came here and struggled like that, and they had to go to the like adult high school.
That's what I ended up doing.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how
you went to the adult high school?
Yes. That's how I ended up getting my diploma at adult high school.
Oh, wow.
And I got the opportunity to go to Dawson College.
Yeah, Dawson College.
Even though I started it, never finished. But
What did you go to take there?
I was really literature.
Literature.
English, because when I started going to original adult classes.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I had to write a paper, and I wrote the essay, and I gave it to my teacher. And the woman was crying tears.
Yeah.
And what the story was about me leaving Jamaica.
Yeah.
And me leaving my whole family back.
Yeah.
So she was so touched by the story that she took it, and we had a school newspaper.
Yeah.
And she had it printed on the front page of the school newspaper.
And put it on it.
And yes, so me, as
At that age, how old were you then when this happened?
I was 16, going on 17.
Oh wow! At that age, that really boosted your self-esteem.
That boosted me, and then
your confidence.
Exactly, into writing.
Yeah.
And then she was so impressed with my writing that she's the one that firstly said that, I think you should be a writer.
Wow.
I think you'd make a good writer.
Wow.
And that's always stuck with me. But when I got the story, I remember I got a bunch of different articles.
Yeah.
Because you got to send one back to grandma in Jamaica so she can read it.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure your family was like their minds were blown.
Yes.
Yeah. And most of like black youths and immigrants are very artistically inclined.
Exactly.
And you moving here, and when you realize that you had this potential, what steps did you take to like start harness it? I know like you found you had the passion of it.
Yes.
And that was like a drive for you now.
Oh yes.
What steps did you take to like push this?
All I wanted to do was just find ways to put out my story. However, with me, maybe it's because I came from a family that were, especially my father's side of the family, they're prominent people.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
I always want to make sure that my stories, if I should write a story and I send it to you, for example, you don't read it and tell me that I don't think this is appropriate. I don't.
Because like you have corrections on them.
It's not really corrections. It's like you're trying to tell me what can put in my book.
Yeah.
So I didn't want go through any of that. And like I said, I always want to be my own boss. So
Yeah.
from there, it was just trying to get the material that
Okay.
I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
But
But you already knew that you're a good storyteller.
oh yes.
And the fact that the teacher did that, it boosted your confidence.
That boosted me.
and made you have that belief that
Yes.
you have this.
Exactly. Like nothing.
That's really
I can't
amazing.
do anything.
That's
basically.
really amazing.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, but then when you did all this, you finished. Well, you said you went to college. Then
Yes.
when did you write your first book? Like, so when you had all these articles together.
Apart from my first book, I wrote a book it was a book on relationship. It was about relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
So, well, what was the title of that one?
You know, I really don't remember.
Oh wow. That means you're reading a lot of books.
Oh yes. I have tons of writing. But
Okay.
that was a book that I remember sending to a publisher.
Yeah.
Just to get the feel of how much it would cost to
Yeah.
put out a book.
To do it.
Yes, and I remember when they told me, I said, okay, so I had an idea of how much it would cost to put out a book.
Yeah.
And from that, but my whole life has been, like I said,
It's been an experience.
it's been an experience.
Yeah.
Because growing up in Montreal, and there was a point in my life as a youngster where I used to get in trouble,
Yeah.
like a little bad boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone has that phase in their life
Exactly.
during that youthful age where you get to experiment and try
Exactly.
new things
Exactly.
and see what life is all about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some people, because of that, they think that, a kid is always a kid, but you grow up.
Yeah.
So for me, it was basically gathering. That's how.
Yeah. That was what I was going to ask you
that was
next.
gathering that experience.
Yeah.
Because stuff that I talk about in my book, some of them are personal experiences, some
Yeah.
of stuff that happened to my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of gathering what I want to talk about.
Okay. Amazing. So, yeah, I was going to ask you what inspired you to write, like, where do you get your inspirations from? So now, and that's always the best teacher. Experience,
Yes.
they say, is the best teacher.
Yes.
And it tells the best stories.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, you living it and you sharing these stories makes it even sweeter.
Because even my first book, that was Informer, the first one, part one.
Oh, Informer.
That's my
yeah.
very first book I came out with in 2010,
Okay, The War of Men.
The Wars of Men. And that
Okay.
book it's really a practical book.
Okay.
Because growing up, I look at, let's say in certain communities,
Yeah.
you may see people with big houses and think everybody's a lawyer or a doctor.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, not everybody's doing, let's say, legal things
Yeah. To have that wealth.
have that wealth.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating idea of how they grasp
how people
their thing.
get it.
So Informer, that's what I talk about everything in Informer, from
Informer.
political stuff to government corruption, police
Yeah.
corruption,
Yeah.
racism. Because I grew up in Montreal.
That's really, really inspiring.
Oh yeah.
About Informer.
Yes.
But before you wrote this book, I'm sure, how did your family take it when you told them, I'm gonna become a writer?
Oh, my mother has and has always been my biggest fan,
Oh wow.
and she has always encouraged me.
Okay.
She's always encouraged me. Because from, like I said, when I brought that article home,
Yeah.
maybe that's what showed her that I have the capability to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So she's always pushed me.
Yeah.
And with me, I'm not the type of person who look for or live for what people think or want me to accomplish.
Yeah.
This is what I try to tell other kids. You have your dreams,
Yeah.
whether it be to be a fireman, police, whatever it is,
Yeah. Chase it.
chase it.
Yeah.
And try to find a few things. Not just don't just leave it on one thing. Which if you fail at that, you think I'm a failure and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't succeed.
Yeah.
Find a few things.
Yeah.
If one thing doesn't work out for you,
You're
try
gonna
something else.
whatever you're passionate about, you're gonna always fall
You
back to.
always fall back to.
Yeah. That's always a strength. Find
yes.
something else. Always
something
find
else.
things.
Yes. But
yeah.
find things that you're passionate about doing.
things you're passionate about doing, like,
Yes.
but in your youthful age.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
because that always helps you. I find myself, most of the things I'm doing are things I was very passionate about when I was young.
Yes.
And your friends might make joke of it then say, oh, you're doing too much. Oh,
Exactly.
you're this. But at the end, those things carry you.
Those things is what carry you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to know what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's very important to know who you are
Yeah.
at a young age.
Yeah. And yeah, that's really good. It's always important to know who you are at a young age.
Yes.
When you wrote Informer, The War of Men, how you said 2010.
Yes.
How old? What was the process like for you? You said this was the first one you did
Yes.
officially.
Yes.
What was it like for you getting this published and reaching out?
At the time, I did my research.
Yeah.
I found a few companies.
Yeah.
And it was basically one that offered everything I wanted to put out.
Yeah.
My books.
Yeah.
And it was Author House. I did Informer 1. My second book was Yahweh.
Yeah. Yahweh.
This is Yahweh because I'll touch on Yahweh in a bit.
Yeah.
But after Yahweh, Informer 1.
Informer 1.
I believe I did. Yes, I did. I don't have the kids' book with me, but I did The Blue Jay and the Squirrel with my two boys.
Wow.
And,
this is really beautiful. This is
yes.
really amazing, people. You can
Yes.
see for yourself.
Yes, and coming from Informer,
Informer.
where I'm talking about gangsters and bikers, and it's more of a violent book.
Yeah, and then you move to Yahweh.
Yahweh, I'm
which is
talking
spiritual.
about spiritual. We're talking
Yeah.
about God coming back from the earth. So
That's really interesting. Well, I'm going to have us dive a little bit deep into the Informer series and the
Yes.
books as well. I've seen myself that they are very weighty.
yes,
Like that means you put in a lot of work, a lot of
hours,
information,
a lot of information,
and a lot of storytelling.
yes.
I would like, can you share with the audience what what inspired you to write it, and what is it all about?
Just growing up, like I said, stuff that I saw, stuff that I've
Your
not my own
experiences.
personal experience,
Yeah,
but experiences of my friends too.
yeah,
And like I said, the stories about. I'll give you a little bit about the story. The story's
Yeah.
about a Jamaican guy. It started in Jamaica because I have to.
That's where the story
I have to
starts.
start exactly. So it starts in Jamaica.
Yeah.
About these two bad guys. They're always on the hustle.
yeah,
You know, they ended up robbing this guy, and the guy's a big boss.
yeah,
But he's from the States.
yeah,
So between them, they'll end up. One of the guys would end up. They're being wanted by the police. So one
Yeah.
of them would end up running away from Jamaica, and move to
the States.
another Caribbean country.
Okay, not the Caribbean country.
But we have another guy that was in the States.
Yeah.
That worked for the big boss that the other guy robbed.
Oh, true.
So him.
So he robbed him and
Yeah, but-
left with the money.
No, but not him. The other guy that is in the States, he worked for the big boss.
Yeah,
So he ended up doing end up killing some people, and he's wanted. So the big boss, to save him, he sends him to Canada. He goes
Yeah.
to Montreal.
yeah.
So to hide him away,
This
and
stuff. Yeah,
so he's in Montreal and he starts doing business. But when he gets to Montreal, he gets to realize that a biker gang runs everything
there.
there. That's
Wow.
underground, everything.
Yeah.
But the biker gang is also run by, I'd say, a secret cult of billionaire guys that
Yeah. Oh, true.
they try to control everything.
Oh, true. Like the Kaaba.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Like
They try
the
to-
guys at the top.
Yes,
Yeah,
they try
yeah.
to control everything. So they run the biker guys do all the illegal stuff for them. If they want people killed, whatever they want, the biker guys do all that stuff.
Okay.
So these Jamaican guys, they say we don't have to take anything
Take
from
it
you
from
guys.
them. Yeah.
We do.
We're not answering to you guys.
Exactly. So the Jamaican guys, they became friends with the Indians.
Yeah.
You know, because I grew up, I have Indian friends.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So they became friends with the Indians, and growing up in Montreal, I know the problems between the
Indians and
the government.
And the government. Yeah.
Even
yeah.
the time when they closed down Pont Mercier Bridge,
Yeah,
they blocked
yeah.
it off and nobody could go to work and stuff. I put all stuff like that in the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
You know, but it's in my own little story.
Yeah.
So that's basically where the story is coming from. But like I said, I talk about whether it's police corruption, government corruption, especially racism. There's a
Okay.
lot of racism in the book because I grew up in Montreal and I've
Yeah.
experienced a lot of it.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. And you can see that the informer is going to really inform you about the experiences and the street life,
Yes.
the gang life
Yes.
out there if you really want to be more informed about it. And these are the wars that men face. So you want to know about these wars, you have this book to tell you more about.
And it's a trilogy. There's part 1, 2.
There you go. I was about to say that
Yes.
you're not only going to get a chance to read and learn more about street violence and gang violence and interesting stories about that. You also get a volume 2 and volume 3. So if you're a reader, this is a must read. Because what inspired you? I was going to ask this quickly. What inspired you to write the volume 2 and volume 3 of Informer?
Well, when I started Informer, I
Yeah.
really started to write it as a one book.
Okay.
But when I got to the end, there was just so
Too
much more material.
Yeah. I mean the street life and
Yes.
street experiences are limitless.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
depending on how far you've gone and what you've seen
What
and
you've
what
seen,
what you know
Yes.
or what you've heard. Yeah. So that's very interesting. So
Yes.
you had to make another.
Oh, yes. I remember quick story. I came when I did Informer,
Yeah.
my first book. I remember I was at a book
Launch
a book fest.
or book first.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually Caribbean Vibe.
Oh, Caribbean
And-
vibe. Yeah.
yes.
It used to happen at the
At Peachtree
Peachtree.
Island.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember I'm there one day and I can't forget this girl wanted to introduce her grandmother to me.
Yeah.
So her grandmother came up and she looked at me and she says, because I'm very frank about stuff that I've been through.
Okay.
You know, I
experiences.
I advocate for guys who've been to jail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
because
your
I want
story.
guys to know that not because you've been to jail and you've done, you can
You can get more.
yeah,
You can,
yes,
you
whatever
can be,
your dream
you
is,
can be
you can still
attain
achieve.
it. Yeah, you can attain. You can achieve it.
Exactly. So I can never forget the grandmother looked at me and said, "Oh, he's been to jail," as
Yeah.
if it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, and that then she's like, oh, all he knows to write about is guns and violence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with my second book,
Yeah.
which is
The Yahweh.
Yahweh, here,
Mm-hmm.
I showed her that. Listen, I grew up going to church.
Yahweh.
So I grew up religious,
Yeah.
like a lot of black kids.
Yeah.
So yes, Yahweh is a book about God coming back for the earth.
Yeah.
You know, Satan runs the earth, so it's like they said.
So it's a religious.
Yes, the war of Armageddon versus.
That's
you know,
very interesting.
Yes, so that's
That's very interesting.
That's my rendition.
So
of-
it talks about the like, revelation
Yes, yes,
of
yes,
the Bible.
yes, yes. But it's just like I say, it's just war for the earth.
That's very
between
interesting.
between
This is
angels.
Yahweh. And yeah, what's something inspiring someone can take reading this book, Yahweh? If someone was to get it and say,
know,
I wanna
is-
learn
This
from
is one of my most inspirational books
Okay.
because I've had, especially for people who've grown up going to church.
Okay.
You know, your whole psychological approach
Yeah.
towards God is
God
different.
is different.
So yeah, I show them that people who've read the book are very emotional about it.
Yeah. Eye opener. So that Yahweh is like an eye opener
Yes.
of the book.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So Yahweh is an inspirational book that helps people understand more about
Well, like I said, I'm talking about the war of Armageddon.
the war of Armageddon, the revelation
Yes,
of
the
Christ.
revelation of exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking about God coming back and God versus Satan's forces.
That's
over control
powerful.
of it.
That's very powerful.
Yes.
And yeah, religion is it's a big thing in the African and black community
Everywhere.
as well. Yeah, and I think it's a major part of the wars we fight globally.
I tell people this: you have a lot of atheists out there, a lot of people who think they hate God,
Yeah.
but believe me, nobody hates God.
Yeah.
What they hate is Christianity.
Yeah.
They hate the
it's
church.
different religions
Yeah,
which have been created.
Yeah, you end up hating
around
the church,
God.
the
Yeah.
church, because you have. Don't forget, the
It's
church
the church,
is still
the church.
church is run by man,
Yeah.
and man have flaws.
Yeah.
So people who think they hate God, you don't hate God.
No.
How can you cannot hate somebody who physically made you.
Yeah.
It's
So
impossible.
literally, you don't hate Christianity, or people don't hate Muslims or Christianity or Buddhism. They hate the people, the
They hate-
structures
exactly.
which have been put and
Yes,
how it should,
precisely,
which
precisely.
I can agree to, because like it's man who spreads
It's man
religion
exactly. So
and
you-
Christianity.
So people really
and
hate
Buddhism and all that.
exactly.
So
People-
the way they choose to spread it could affect the
Exactly.
well-being of mankind.
yes, yes,
That's very interesting. And
yes.
people, if you really want to learn more about that book, Yahweh and the revelation of Armageddon, you can literally pick it up and learn more about Yahweh through Rhoan Flowers' inspirational book, Yahweh. We are going to move on to, this guy, he just blows my mind, literally, because when I see all these books, I literally ask myself, when does this guy get time to rest or take a break? Because, it's a lot of reading.
A lot of writing.
And there's this saying that if you want to hide knowledge from a black man,
put it in a book.
put it in a book. So,
Well, Informer 1. That's why I wrote Informer
Okay.
1
Yeah.
as my first book.
okay.
Because as a black, that's a book that I've gotten people who've never read a book.
Yeah.
And black guys who really don't read.
Yeah.
I have so much guys read this book.
I have a lot of friends. I'm one of them.
Yes.
I'm not much of a reader.
Yes,
So
yes, I understand.
I'm not going
I
to point out fingers
No,
on
I
people.
understand. I totally
I would have,
understand.
I would even like in books, I would have, maybe I'll talk about, I'll have someone summarize it for me
Yes.
before I do it. It's a bit lazy, but
Yes, I understand.
not everyone is a reader in that way, but
Yes.
I love audiobooks too.
Audiobooks, exactly.
Exactly. I love audiobooks. I listen
Yes.
to I think I listen to an audiobook a day,
That's beautiful.
every day. They're long, 4 or 5 hours,
Yes,
2
yes.
hours, but I don't mind.
It's nice, relaxing.
I would exactly. So when I'm relaxing, I'll listen to it, and I'll listen to maybe one book 2-3 times,
Oh, yes.
so I get it.
Yes.
Because one time you can never.
No. There's always something in between you didn't. plan.
Yeah, you're gonna miss.
You're
Yeah,
gonna miss.
I find that's really interesting. So after you've done Informer 1, Informer 2, Informer 3, what inspired the third one? Still the informations which you had, and what year did you write that? What year did you write all the 3 of them?
Well, they didn't come
Back to
altogether.
back. Yeah, no,
I came
yeah,
with
yeah.
Informer 1 the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah. Then you did
My-
Yahweh.
Then I did Yahweh. Then I did Informer 2.
Okay.
And then I did my kids' book, which is Blue Jay and the Squirrel, not this one.
Okay.
I didn't bring Blue Jay and the Squirrel with me,
Blue Jay and the
unfortunately.
Squirrel.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure your kids are gonna get you when you get
they're
home.
They're going to,
Yeah, they'll be like, "Daddy, you didn't. You're not trying to put us.
Yes,
you
you're
don't
not
want
trying-
us to get our shine."
Yeah, don't give us their shine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna. You said the Blue Jay,
Blue Jay and the Squirrel. And
Blue
then
Jay, and the Squirrel.
The Blue Jay and the Squirrel.
What is that all about?
It's a book about just community,
Okay.
because it's
Blue
a book
Jay
about
and
it's,
the Squirrel.
yeah, it's a book about a blue jay. She looks around, she finds she's looking for a home because she's trying to lay her eggs.
Yeah.
So she finds a home in beautiful tall pine tree.
Yeah.
And she says, "Okay, I'm moving here." So there's nobody. She checks the tree. There's nobody. A few days later, the squirrel comes home.
Yeah.
So when the squirrel comes home, the squirrel says, "This is my house. I want you to move."
Oh.
So I'll just leave it.
Yeah. It's a kid's storybook.
It's a kid's story.
And I am very much aware you write this with
Yes.
along with your children.
I have twin boys.
How many kids do you have?
I have 5 together. But
Okay.
My twin sons, Rhoan and Javon.
Are they the first?
Well, no, they're my last.
Oh, they're the last.
Yes.
And they wrote the.
when they did the Blue Jay and the Squirrel, they were 9 years old.
Oh my God.
And then
So I guess they got it from your papa.
yeah, then we did the Volcano King.
Okay, you guys did Volcano
Yes,
King, guys.
we did that 2 years later. 2 years later, when they were 11.
Okay, so what year did this go out?
I'd say 2016, 2017, around there.
Interesting. And it has really beautiful pictures in them.
Yes, my sons draw all the pictures.
Like
I know the
really
story.
beautiful picture. And they drew
Yes.
this when they were 11 years old?
Yes, 11.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's very, very interesting.
Yes.
I think your kids actually took all the knowledge and inspiration from you. And you guys did Volcano, the Volcano King.
Yes.
When they were 11.
When they were 11.
And they drew all the paintings, everything. Including the poster.
Oh, yes.
This is really inspiring. And you see how you're going for to inspire them for something you had.
Yes.
And I guess their names are
Jovan and Rhoan.
And Rhoan Flowers.
Yes, Flowers.
Oh, wow. The twin boys, they're 11. Guys, a huge shout out from the Anyo Studios. You guys have amazing paintings and drawings.
Amazing work.
Your daddy is doing an amazing job. For sure. Yeah. And this is the Volcano King.
Yes.
What inspired you guys to do this? Was it like their stories or was it just their drawings you used to make it?
No, apart from... Okay, let me take this back a little bit.
Okay.
I came out with this one.
Mama
Devow.
Oh, Mama Devow.
The Devil's Concubine.
Oh, Mama Devow, the Devil's Concubine.
This book is it's about a Jamaican Obia woman.
Yeah.
Right. So when I came out with this book, I started a campaign where I tried to get Black people to learn about their history.
Yeah.
So this book is about Obia comes all the way from Africa.
Yeah, Obia.
The slaves brought they actually use Obia to not only get rid of the masters in Haiti.
Yeah.
But Obia is still a strong. Exactly, especially in the it's all over the world.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when I wrote this book, this was my first book to get Black people to study more about their history.
Oh,
the Volcano King was the second one.
Okay.
Even though this is a kid's book, I'm talking about slavery in this book.
Okay.
So it's a story about
the Volcano King.
The Volcano King.
So who's the king?
The king,
lion.
The lion is the king of
the lion is the king
of the volcano.
Of the volcano.
Yes.
Okay.
So in my books, this one, my latest one.
That Volcano King looks very interesting.
Yes, very nice book.
Because it looks like it's empowering.
Yes.
And it looks like wow, I feel the power from the Volcano King already.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to give you Black Cherokee also because I've done 4 books so far.
The Black Cherokee.
Black Cherokee, where I'm trying to get this one. I'm trying to get a lot of people don't know that.
Revenge against community.
A lot of people don't know that Black Indians existed.
Yeah.
So that's
Black Indians.
Exactly. So I'm trying to take people on a historical journey.
Yeah.
Where I can get them to connect the dots. So to speak.
Yeah.
So in talking about Obia, in talking about Black Indians, a little bit about slavery, I'm like I say, I'm trying to get people to connect the dots and see
connect
Black
with the
history.
culture,
exactly,
and the history. Black Cherokee
history. Yes,
this is really good too. But before we move to this Black Cherokee, I want us to throw a little bit of light on Mama Devow. Yeah, this is a really good book from what I see, because most times we struggle with our family stuffs, not looking into it detailedly, unlike these religious practices which we've carried from the past.
Yes.
Yeah, and your books are throwing a lot of light to the fact that Black people have a deeper history than they actually see in the surface.
Yes.
And you have so many books which tell these stories.
Yes.
And I personally think that I'm going to take out time to read a lot of them. If you have some, I might read a few.
I appreciate you, my brother.
I would like to have it if it's available on audiobooks as well.
Oh, yes.
Are they?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very interesting because, I'll definitely listen to them on audiobooks as well. The Black Cherokee. So you talked about the Black Indians.
Black Indians.
Yeah, which I'm aware of. And because history has it and has proven that Black people lived way 4,000 years ago. Even the Mexico was owned by Black people.
Yes.
So and you that's only possible and evidence because you see sculptures from that long, even before the stories were being told about history, Black histories. We have structures which have been found black structures found in these places thousands of years before these stories were told.
Yes.
Which brings the doubt of how come there is no documentation talking about these stories, talking about all this rich black history,
very rich,
which no one has ever been told about, or it's never been written in any history book.
Exactly.
But yeah, I believe it's on us as black people to tell our stories and literally create new ones.
Yes.
And and with stuff like this, I think it helps young minds like myself, young people as well in schools, seeing this, knowing that it's possible. I mean, we see that with people like William Shakespeare. When I was in high school, I did literature too. I was a fan. I'm an artist, so I did art and lots of writing stuff. And that was one course I did. I read like the Shakespearean novels.
Yes.
And I realized that this guy has a whole huge collections of books he wrote.
Yes.
And every day I look at them, I used to ask myself, how did this one guy do this? There's no way he wrote all those books.
Yes.
But that's possible. That's possible. If you commit yourself, you're dedicated, you can achieve it. And which was the latest one you wrote?
Cast a Grudge.
Which is Cast.
Yes. We were talking about this one earlier.
Yeah. Okay, Cast the Grouch.
Cast the Grudge.
What year did you write Cast the Grouch?
Last year. It came out last November the 15th.
November 15, 2022.
Yes.
Yeah, this is very interesting. And this is still part of your storytelling skills.
Yes, and my trying to get black people to know
part of black experiences.
Exactly.
Which and realities.
Especially.
And from where we spoke a little bit about the Cast a Grudge before the show started, and it was very inspiring to see that you could put all the story together, and that helps people understand the realities of black people in the community and other marginalized people in the community, and how do they cast that grudge? How do people deal with the pain and the struggles they go through every day in life? How do they cope with it? And he goes through really deeply talking about this in Cast the Grudge. And it goes to also show the story, the reality of immigrants and people who get to settle in Canada, and how they interconnect and how they start their families, and how even children come into the stories and all of that. So you really want to learn more about Cast the Grudge, then you know what to do, people. You can literally pick up a copy on Amazon or any of the
Indigo chapters. You name it, but Barnes and Nobles. I've seen this book. I've actually had friends call me from in the States.
Yeah.
They've seen my book in Walmart.
Oh wow.
Target.
Oh wow.
So I was
I think
blown away.
I think the books and the stories are just fascinating, and they are very educational. It's not going to be your everyday educational book, but it's a life experience book which teaches you way more than any experience or any movie which you're watching would. And and literally I can say some of the stories in this book, in some years' time, we'll definitely act them out. Cast a Grudge is a really interesting story. Like, your storytelling skills is just amazing.
Yes, I'm covering a lot of different things, from race to mass murders. And just that, especially that integration.
Yeah, the integration thing.
Yes,
and that's a big part for immigrants.
Yes.
Being able to integrate.
Right now, personally, I have, I'm on a, let's call it a mission right now.
Yeah, you're on a mission.
Because my mission right now is, I've not only heard stories, I've from working and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's trying to get people more aware, and not only that, I'm trying to get the Canadian government to at a point where black people, we're at a point where we need to be apologized for
Yeah.
sins of the past.
Yeah.
Because as I've mentioned, Canada has hold slaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this. It might be a dark history,
Yeah.
but it's history nevertheless.
Yeah.
You know, they try not to teach all this to the kids in school,
Yeah.
but you cannot hide.
No,
you cannot
that's
hide
true.
the history.
That's true. And that's a thing about black history. It's not being taught
It's
at
not
all.
being taught. It's not
At
being-
all. Even
because of this.
even I grew up in Africa,
Yes.
like not the Caribbean, but in Africa. Even in Africa, the stories were not told. We grew up and discovered that most of the stories were told in schools were all lies.
Of course,
and that's
you
really
think-
frustrating.
You think white men discovered everything in the world?
Yeah, that's really frustrating for a kid to grow up and realize that most of your stories you were taught were not factual.
Exactly.
And they were just made up
Yes.
to tell you something. And
Yes.
yeah,
So then it falls on you to go and find your story.
it falls on you to go and find your story.
Yes,
That's the
but-
most interesting thing I would say was my biggest shock. And I was around 27, 26 years old when I realized that I had to find my
You have to find
story,
your story.
and whatever I had been told
Yes.
before was not true,
Yes.
was not factual. I won't say true.
It's
Because
not
to
factual.
some extent,
It's
if
so-
you tell a lie enough times, it becomes the
It
truth.
becomes the truth.
Yeah, and that's
Yes.
what has become our reality.
Yes. Yes.
And it's on us to find the truth and keep studying.
Yes, and we have to move.
to-
We have to move forward. Even here
Yeah.
in Canada, as a country, we have to move forward.
Yeah.
I know nobody don't want to take ownership,
Yeah.
but somebody has to be the bigger man and one day say, "Yo, it's
And take ownership.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Call
You
a
know?
spade a spade.
Yes, it is what it is.
Yeah. What happened,
You know?
happened.
What
And
happened, and we move past
How
it.
do we move
Because
past it
presently-
and heal?
Because presently it's causing it's what is driving this.
It's a gap.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
making people feel more empowered, like they're more important than
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
in fact we're all humans.
It's creating a gap.
We all bleed, you know. But
It
like
is.
I said, it's what's causing this microaggression
Yeah.
at work. You know, you have bosses who are disrespecting your
Yeah.
employees
Yeah.
because they're looking at it like, if the government isn't apologizing to you guys, why?
Yeah.
should I
Why do we
apologize
have to do it? It's
Exactly.
a whole systemic thing.
It's a
I'll
sys-
say this.
That's why.
It's this. In
that's why-
Canada, I came and I saw a lot of systemic racism.
Yes.
Which I've experienced for sure and really loudly, and I speak it from the bottom of my heart that I was disappointed with that, but I realized that they're not doing anything we're not doing to ourselves already, and
True.
even worse.
True.
And actually, they gave us even a safer space
Oh yes, I
for
love,
us to
I love this Canada. I love this country.
to find ourselves, right? Because, like for example, back in Cameroon, I'll never be able to even do this because you have to know certain people or talk to certain, like you have to be connected to the top to be able to
Yes.
even speak your
Yes,
mind.
yes.
But we have all the resources in all these countries, but we do not, like in general, what I've seen, they cannot put it together. The leaderships fail to connect them and put them together. We have the manpower, we have the brain,
Yes.
and all that, but the leaders do not put it together. So they end up experiencing lots of brain drain because all these smart people have to leave and go elsewhere to go fulfill their lives or fulfill their dreams.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah, I feel like that's a really huge part of something we need to learn as Black people.
Oh yeah, and
and
for me, like I said, I have kids.
How do we gain respect?
Yes.
Because great writers like yourself, these books, you're supposed to be everywhere, and you're supposed to be celebrated.
Oh yeah, when I hear people say, you know, there's no black writers. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
I know. It's not pronounced.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
we're not
I'm not
pronounced.
saying I should be celebrated, but as a black author,
No, you're supposed to be celebrated.
As-
For when you're great, you're great. You can just
Yes.
When you're great, you're great, and greatness is supposed to be celebrated. And Black greatness is never celebrated.
That's
It's
true.
pushed, and it's always made as minimal as you can call it, but it's what it is. And like what I said, it's gonna take black people to celebrate themselves.
Yes.
You wouldn't want
Yes.
another person to come do it for you.
That's true.
And
That's true.
it has to take. It's not about gender or anything, because I think that's the next part that comes in when we talk about the difficulties we face as a
Yes.
race.
Yes.
It's first of all the race thing, then the gender comes in now, and in the
Yes.
black population, it's just shifted so vastly that
Yes.
the male and the female gender seems to be at war.
At what for some? Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and that
precisely.
makes no sense, because then there's no unity, there's no leadership, there's no continuity. And guess what? The stories or creating your own reality becomes almost an impossibility. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And for me, I'm about empowering the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
know, I look
Literally, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We literally are creating a space where people can see that this is possible.
Everything is
And everything is possible.
Yes.
And we just have to keep believing and dreaming.
Yes.
And hopefully that someday all the bad leadership
yes.
back in these black nations will definitely change, because
Yes.
I would tell you personally, that's the main issue we have as black people.
black people.
In Haiti, Jamaican, Caribbean,
Oh, yes.
everywhere,
Oh, yes.
Africa, Nigeria, Cameroon,
Everywhere.
wherever you look at it, South Africa,
Oh yes.
it's just the
yes.
problem of leadership.
Yes.
But you have really talented people with
Very-
no leaders.
With no leaders.
Yeah. So we cannot be seen, we cannot be known because of all this.
Yes.
That's tough. I would like you to tell one very good advice you have for people listening, immigrants who are looking at your books and feel very inspired. What would you tell anyone who is inspired by you?
You can be anybody you want. You can do anything you want. I personally remember years ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm a soccer player.
Yeah, me too.
I love
That's
soccer.
very interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
so I grew up playing soccer, and I remember when I came here.
Yeah.
I look at these kids nowadays and the opportunity they get to play soccer,
Yeah.
and I was good enough to make the top
The
teams,
team. Yeah. Top
you know,
teams.
any
Yeah.
top team.
Yeah.
So
But
no, just seeing kids on the pitch doing whether it's
yeah.
basketball,
yeah, playing.
just playing
And were there opportunities
the
then?
opportunities.
Yeah.
Just-
Did you have that back then
for me,
when you came to play soccer?
no,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
no, it was more of a, they're more picking everybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it wasn't
yeah.
about
And
the
it's you have
talent.
to pay it.
Yeah, and it wasn't
Yeah.
about the talent.
Yeah, it wasn't about
know,
the talent. Yeah.
But one thing with me, if you're a talented person, you have to.
Yeah, it's
you need a talented people around you.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
That's
so for I'll tell anybody out there, whatever your dreams are,
You need people who believe in
you
you.
need people, especially that belief.
Yeah.
You know, that's why my mother, my grandmother.
Yeah, and
that
even your
support system.
teacher,
Oh, my teacher. Those
who
people.
teacher when you were very young,
yes,
when you were
yes.
15 or
Yes,
so,
those people gave me.
she saw your vision.
Yes, those people gave me a hardship that nobody could ever take away.
Yeah,
You know, I remember times when I'd get in trouble
yeah,
and just hearing my grandmother says, because my grandmother knows me, she raised me.
yeah,
So just hearing her says, it's okay, Rhoan.
yeah,
You know, you'll get past this. And it's true. You know, some people get caught up to where they can't see you.
yeah.
They can't see you for where
you are, yeah,
and for who you are.
for who you are.
They still see you as a little,
As a little, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So just keep going. No matter the person next to you might not
Yeah.
might not see your greatness,
yeah.
but,
But find those who believe in you.
find those who believe in you.
So that's it. That's very inspirational, because I think if you find the right people who believe in you, you can do wonders.
Oh yes,
And sometimes you don't always have to be good at everything, but if you have the right people around you, they're gonna help you
they'll-
realize your weak spots.
help you be great.
Yeah, help you be great.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. I really, really find this really educational. And what's one thing else? Another one quick question. What's one thing you would say? One great thing you want anyone to carry about themselves, like a great thing they need to keep working on about themselves? Like, what do you know what I mean?
I have a tattoo on
Like
my
your
neck.
vision.
I have a tattoo on my neck that it says all about me.
Okay.
And that to me is like it's like a personal vision.
Okay.
That to let me know that whatever my dreams are,
Yeah. You got to keep going.
I gotta keep going.
Okay.
I gotta keep. So whether I sell 100 copies,
100
1,000
copies, 1,000 copies, yeah.
whatever I sell of one book,
Yeah.
that's not gonna deter.
It's not
me
going to limit you from producing the next book.
The next book.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you, that producing all these books will be like a cost and all that as well, and the
Yes.
sales and all that.
Yes.
But yeah, and you have that drive
You have that
to
drive.
keep, and that's something very powerful.
Yes.
Because most times writers or books are never appreciated when they are reading.
Oh yes.
They're always
yes.
appreciated some 10, 15 years afterwards,
Yes.
that they realize, oh, this person was great,
Yes.
and we could learn a thing or
Yes,
two
but,
from
but,
him.
But then you write some books, even like Yahweh, for example.
Yeah.
And just to have that lady who's going through a tough time with her husband,
Yeah.
or who's just going through a divorce, whatever it is, just to have somebody like that tell you that, you know something, I was going through a hard time, and I picked up your book and I read it, and it uplifted my spirit.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing else after somebody tells me.
Yeah. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful. Well, that's it, people. We have had an amazing time talking to Mr. Rhoan Flowers, and with all his inspirational book, ranging from the Informer 1, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, the Volcano King, Blue Jays, and the Squirrels. And I mean, it ranges. You have so much interesting stories for your kids.
Yes.
You can get them the kids' stories, which are going to teach them and help empower them in the right way, because it's all about empowerment. And that book with the Volcano King is going to make him feel like a Lion King, because it's going to help him feel empowered in the right way that carries their vision into what they want to realize. So there are a lot, and it's also, even adults can read it and still learn from it. So there's just so much powerful knowledge he shares in all these books, which I believe that if you go out, check them, you're going to learn a thing or two from it. So yeah, thank you. Any last words?
No, just look me up. Rhoanflowers.com is my personal website. You can also get any of my books on my website if you want to learn more about me. I'm all over the place. Everything is Rhoan Flowers. Flowers, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. It's all Rhoan Flowers. And again, go ahead and get any of my books from Amazon to Chapters, Barnes and Nobles. They're in over 3,000 bookstores across the world, so you can get them in other countries. I'm not saying everywhere, but a lot of countries. And thanks for the love, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
It's been an honor having you. It's been
Pleasure
so
was
great
all
having him in the house. I've learned so much. I'm sure everyone who's been listening has learned a thing or two, which you can take today with you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Keep watching the Immigrant Experience podcast. I've been your host, Emmanuel Dualai Koko. You noticed tonight with us, we didn't have my co-host, Ruben Nashali. Well, he was caught up with some work, and we hope next time he'll be here. Please keep watching, subscribe, like, share, and please don't keep it all to yourself. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at Anyo_2021. #The Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.